All right, and then I'm
What
gonna
are we
go.
going on?
I'm gonna go. See, I gotta go live on Instagram. Can I go? Am I able to go live on Instagram? There we go. Now I press that. And for those of you who are watching right now on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on X/Twitter, welcome to an emergency podcast of Ringside Heat on. Not on News Talk Saga 960 right now, but right here online. And it's an online exclusive that we have here for you. And well, let's get it on because we have something that really sparked a fire between us and the here in the ring crew, and we want to just hash it out with all of you. And if you are listening in right now, feel free to drop us a line in the chat wherever you're watching from, either from our Facebook pages, our YouTube, our Twitch, and our Instagram Live, as well as Twitter. So let's introduce ourselves right now. My name is Lex Tan, host and producer of the show. You can follow me at Lex Tan Media. You can follow Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat on all of their social media. And we also have John at John Dawson Music. He is our theme music writer and our resident diamond selling musician. As well, we've got at Coco Collects Chico Nougat, who is our resident wrestling memorabilia expert. Gentlemen, welcome to this special edition, and hopefully more special editions of Ringside Heat here online.
Oh,
Good
anytime, man.
evening.
This is a good way to spend what are we, Tuesday? Yeah, it's a good way to spend Tuesday.
I was gonna say it's Hump Day, but it ain't Hump Day. It's
No,
just
it's not.
Cineplex Cheap
It's
Movie
Hump Day
Tuesday.
Eve. It's Hump Day Eve.
Yeah.
Well, if you're The Rock, better not remind them about John Cena and Eve. But yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, wow, that's an opening volley. You just
So Johnny.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
You know, I got a little. I don't want to say the word triggered. I wasn't really triggered. I was just kind of ticked when one of us, was it Jose or was it you, Chico, who posted the Ava having to shut down her X account.
Shout out Jose for alerting us to this occurrence today on the social media.
That really bothered me, man. That really bothered me. So I mean, I'm gonna back it up to last night, you know, and again, I always love our chats because I get news from you guys way faster than I could find it. But, you know, I was watching with my kids. We were watching the We Want Cody thing and all this, and we've been watching over the weekend. It just seems to be hitting a fever pitch, and We Want Cody, all that business. And somewhere along the way, it feels like what went from fandom turned to trolldom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a fan of that, because it's one of the qualities of things I hate about how other types of fandom behave. And I'm not even just talking wrestling, but you could, you know, this is I think this is systemic in fandom in general. I think George R.R. Martin recently says something about this. There's no such thing as fandom anymore. It's about people just being horrible. Like, fandom used to be about, you know, celebrating things together. And somewhere along the way, it became about people being really awful, and the worst types of people are getting you know, getting over with their comments, and it really bothered me that this We Want Cody thing went from some kind of wonderfully benign thing to what looks like a really awful thing. Now, do I think the WWE may be tacitly endorsing it? Yes. I am convinced we are being worked. I really am. But as often happens with these things, when you let this dragon out of the cage, man, it's going to spit fire on you. And I just don't like, there's a side of the fandom I've seen in the last maybe 24 hours that I just don't like. I just don't like. Yeah, that's maybe where I want to start with it.
Now, to be specific, I think what you meant is that The Rock's daughter Ava felt that the backlash from her dad Dwayne's, let's say, wordless promo on Friday on SmackDown involving a certain Cody Rhodes upset so many people that there's such a crazy uprising against the Rock Roman booking, a potential booking,
Potential.
because nothing's official yet, as of because this is before the Thursday press event,
Yes.
right? But just the idea of it, and allegedly taking Cody out of the spot that people have been unofficially promised for over a year. It's upset so many people just because there's so much investment in it that people started sending Simone Johnson, otherwise known as Ava, the NXT general manager, death threats. What the? So then she felt that it got to a level where she deleted her Twitter, at least for the time being, or her account on X. So I get, yeah, that would trigger me too if I was a dad. I mean, like, that's where you're at, right?
Yeah, and I now is there a cynical part of me that goes, maybe she's playing it, maybe this is part of the story, maybe. But if I were Dwayne and my daughter were starting to get trolled by a bunch of guys who wanted a particular type of wrestling match, I would start wanting to exact vengeance. It's problematic for me. I think one of the things I like about us as the ring crew, one of the things I like about Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat, one of the things I like about us is we're not dirt. We're not dirt sheets. We're fans, and I think we're the right type of fan. And not to put us over too much, but I think maybe we should be put over, because I think we're the right type of fan. I think there's a type of fan, and again, this is in anything. This is in music. This is in comic books. This is in anything. There's a way to be a fan without being a jerk. And fans that just seem to need to be jerks, that's just not okay, man. I don't care. Maybe it is playing to a storyline with WWE. I don't know. It still perpetuates a fandom that is the reason I don't watch another company. Do you know what I'm saying? And so the problem is, where I start to get worried is like, you want this here? Like, if this is part of your gambit, if this is part of your playbook, you want this here? I don't like this. Like, it's bothering me a lot, man, as a dad and as a fan and as a pundit. I guess I am. I don't know what I am. I guess I'm a pundit. But it's really bothering me. It's the wrong type of fandom. And again, it may be in the minority, but assuming this is shoot and not work, that she shuts down an account for shoot, that's a problem. Full stop.
Well, definitely. I mean, like, it's just here's the thing. It's not just, as you mentioned before, John, it's not just happening within wrestling fandom. Yes, it does notoriously happen in wrestling fandom, but there is a lot of other fandoms out there that have this kind of element to it, and it is actually, and if I could draw from one particular fandom, Final Fantasy VII, they have they have a video game coming out. That franchise at the end of the month, February the 29th, which is the second big installment of their remake series. And the vitriol of some people that are online, and the way I've seen people treat each other in this fandom, and I know which side treats them badly. It's the side that doesn't understand what the actual storyline is. It's the side that actually likes to take their own interpretation and put that over the actual what's actually real, and they're the ones who get really, really toxic online. And what's happening with Ava, with Simone Johnson, and having that kind of cyberbullying and that kind of negative attention toward her based on the reception that her dad is getting because of one segment where he didn't even speak, and there's still 60 days until WrestleMania where a story is cooking and people just don't want to let it cook anymore. People just don't want to be patient enough to watch a story unfold. And that's what Triple H told us last year when Cody Rhodes lost the Universal World Heavyweight Championship match against Roman Reigns, dirty finish as it may be. Triple H said, that's not the end of the story.
Yep, that's just the beginning, really.
Exactly, and even though right now, according to, and maybe, and I think as well too, that as from the corporate things that are coming out, maybe that's the next part. Maybe this is kayfabe. Maybe this is kayfabe 3.0, where where you're using corporate in order to further your storylines and blur that line between reality and fiction. And we have, and I guess I guess with all of those concepts in my mind, just jumbled up and trying to figure out a way to communicate all of this, it is insane. If this is really taking herself off of social media because of real threats, of real death threats that are and threats of harm and cyberbullying, there's got to be something to be done. There's got to be something to be done about this, about that, and we need to figure out how a way to weed that out of the fandom. But the thing is, at the same time, people will complain, "Oh, you're being fandom police. Oh, why can't you just enjoy things the way we want?" But you're affecting people's lives. You're affecting people's lives, and it doesn't. And that's the kind of fandom that does not resonate with me particularly. This whole thing now here for a little bit of background over here on our Facebook chat, Jose and I have actually gotten into some conversations this week about how disappointed I could be if I don't see Cody Rhodes become the world heavyweight champion, the Universal WWE, the undisputed, like the Uwu champion, whatever, let's call it that.
Yeah, we don't want Cody with a consolation prize.
No. But I was he would insist that I could be setting myself up for a big disappointment. However, I'm one of the people that is just, let's see the journey through. Let's see the journey through. Let's appreciate every part of the journey, and then we'll reevaluate everything after the journey has been finished.
Now, I gotta cut in here for a second, man. I think sorry, I'm not gonna speak for anybody else but me.
Yeah.
I think that there's a difference between letting it cook and not making what you want heard, like not in a toxic way, but kind of just swallowing everything that WWE and the powers that be give you. If you don't like it, say something.
Well, I'm not saying, and I'm not saying I'm just going to swallow, what's being fed down my throat.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you won't, but I think just what I'm getting from that is some people could infer that you're saying just let them give you what they want and don't get worked up about it, like at all. But I know you're not saying that, but I'm just saying some people might take it that far. I like participating in it. In fact, I've been like hashtagging "We Want Cody" like crazy since Friday. So I am all in it. At the same time, counter to what some other people might say, I can separate my passion for this storyline and wanting it to be a certain way with being able to enjoy the awe and wonder that we're going to jump into in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I can separate that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like it was a bit of a challenge because they've had me so invested with the loss to Roman last year. Like they got me kind of wanting it more and more over a year's time. So I feel very strongly about it, like all the things that are leading to the things we're talking about now. But of course, like you guys are saying, there are healthier ways and should be some limits as to how you express that raw passion that the storyline is bringing out in so many of us. Hashtag we
Do,
want Cody.
And here's the
do you
thing, like
think? Sorry, go ahead.
here's,
Sorry.
and here's the thing when it comes to that as well. And I'll put it after you. I'll put it toward you, John, afterwards. But back in the 2000s, back in the 2000s, like the fans out there, and I included. I included I was one of the people that chanted Cena sucks. I was one of the I was one of those people, and it was a most fun atmosphere to have those dueling chants between "Let's Go Cena" and "Cena sucks" come together like that, and and it showed you just how, like, just how much people cared about John Cena. And that's the thing. I also love the fact that people care about Cody and people care about what The Rock is doing and all that. And yeah, do I want would I rather see Cody? Of course I would rather see Cody finish his story. I would rather see that over The Rock, and The Rock is my all-time favorite of wrestler of all time. It is there's
Very
something.
electrifying.
There's something that's happening. There's something that's happening. We just have to, and yes, this voice your displeasure, because guess what? That's how, that's how John Cena was able to be one of the only two people to have a Money in the Bank loss.
Yeah. So
despite him being a 16-time champion.
Yeah. To affirm what you're saying, and so I know you're gonna throw it to John, but just to reiterate, there is definitely a difference between letting them cook, which I also at the same time, like in my mind, am letting them do it because I can enjoy the product, whatever the case, but letting them cook, but at the same time, if I don't like something, to say something, but productively, and in all the usual ways, without the death threats, but yeah, like, use your voice though, I would say.
Do you think they're genuinely surprised with the backlash? Do you think they're surprised at how over Cody is?
I don't think so, because they've put it in through their machine, man. Like they are so good at promotion. I think.
Okay,
we're getting
I
work.
I want to just stop there. I recently rewatched Cody on the Broken Skull sessions. Cody's definition of over, I think, is really important here. Do you remember this? I don't know if you saw this. Cody says he said in that interview he hated people using the term over. Over doesn't mean you had one good match. You had two good matches. Over are people lining up. Like Stone Cold to Cody was over. That's the benchmark of over. I'm inclined to think, now he wouldn't have known he would be here at that point. This was just on the heels of his 38 return. Is Cody that over?
Yes, I unequivocally would have to say yes right now. He is. I think he's so over that he's ready to be the flag bearer of the company, and by extension, the whole industry.
Well, he certainly has seemed to be the flag bearer of the company and the industry right now, like as it is over the past few months, especially after that Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins. He got mainstream attention for doing what he did, and you would think after 9 months away from the ring after that match, then he would lose whatever momentum, but he didn't. And somehow that momentum kept on going. And now the marketing of WWE 2K24, finish the story. CM Punk, tears in his eyes, congratulating Cody. Finish the story, and it's become a catchphrase. Finish the story. Who put that forward? Cody Rhodes. And so there's got to be something. That's the reason why I think there's got to be more than what we can see right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, man. It's just, and to add to what I was saying earlier, I think that Cody is ready because I've seen him do all the media rounds. I've watched him do press conferences. All the vocabulary is right.
The
the
way
look
he
is
handled the
right.
Vince questions in the press, I don't think there's anybody more poised
Yeah.
to lead the company. I don't think you can find it. It's certainly not Seth, and Punk would probably be the first guy to say it's not him. It's Cody. One thing I did notice about, even though everybody's, crapping on the Rock Roman thing, I noticed how the Rock watched Cody walk out before he turned his head to Roman. I've never seen that before. That Cody walked up the ramp and the Rock watched him exit that ramp, didn't make a move until Cody was gone. Then the Rock turned around.
Yeah. And this is why
I thought that was telling. I thought that was telling.
And just the way that Cody, the way he was selling the bit on Friday, tells me that they've talked at length about this. They've come to certain creative choices and agreements. And though I still feel strongly that it needs to be Cody over Roman to end night 2 of Mania, I mean, that's partly selfishly motivated because I have bought my tickets and I want to see it in person. I'm sure Cody has spoken about it at length with Hunter, with Dwayne, and they have a plan. I still happen to think Mania is the best way to go if you want Cody to be your next Cena. I think this is the place to do it. But hey, man, they could have something better. I mean, they could be playing 3D chess and we're just playing checkers.
Yeah, but what? Okay. I need to hear other things. Do we have anybody?
Yeah.
Is anybody else hitting here?
I need the. You know what? Then before we have anybody else on, John, and this is what Bully Ray was going off on. You were pointing out right earlier. We need to hear the why of why Friday happened. We didn't get much of it. I think they used Monday Night Raw as a barometer to see the reactions. So it's kind of a holding pattern show. But I think Thursday's press event is going to be telling. But I think we need to hear what the heck, like why.
Do we know if we're
stuff
getting
on
definitive
Friday.
Answers on Thursday? Do we know if we're getting?
We don't know, but that's part of the hook. There, you might get some.
And here's something that as well that I think I kind of am a little bit concerned about when it comes to Thursday. And this is just me remembering back to old WrestleMania VHSs that or compilation VHSs. It was was it WrestleMania 10 or 11 or something like that, where it was supposed to be either where we could have gotten Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan, and then Macho Man.
WrestleMania 8.
10? No,
Something
8.
one of those, and if Jose
8,
were
it was Macho Man and Ric Flair instead.
yeah, exactly that WrestleMania. And while it was great to see Macho and Nature Boy do their thing, and of course I wasn't in the fandom at that point, just watching archival footage, but I could appreciate that Macho and Ric Flair was a great thing, but it could have been at their primes Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair at for the WWF Championship, and that was a missed opportunity. And I'm hoping, upon hope, that doesn't happen again this time around for WrestleMania 40.
Well, that's what people are hoping based on last year's result.
That's what we're all hoping,
yeah.
And a lot of people, like, I felt that was the time to crown Cody, but Cody's last year has made him even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the same thing.
Yep, and I was proven wrong. I'm glad to be proven wrong that way, but I think they got to pay it off for us. Like if they leave him off Mania in terms of that payoff, you're gonna have a lot of people extra grumbly. You're gonna lose a lot of people. I'll still be in it.
We don't want booze at Mania 40, and I think they're walking a fine line right now.
Yeah, it's Philadelphia too, by the way, who, mind you, were the crowd that booed.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off there for a second.
Yeah.
Every time people say that, it's Philadelphia. I've been thinking about this a lot, especially at a WrestleMania. Is it a Philadelphia crowd or is it an international crowd?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It won't just be Philly.
There's no
however, the Philly contingent is so loud.
SmackDown's different.
Yeah,
but
they were also the crowd at the Royal Rumble where The Rock came in to raise Roman's hand. Then the two of them got booed out of the building.
You can't pin that on Philly. Although I want to claim,
yes, you can. You can.
Okay. But that's the
Philly's
problem.
notorious.
Mania?
They're very notorious for that. They're
Okay,
notorious
and
for
so
hijacks.
would you say Hogan's turn at 18 was all Toronto? Because I want to believe it was, but was it?
I would think so. I think it was primarily that.
I would
There
love
was
to
an
see the
international
metrics on
flavor,
that.
though.
I would love to see the metrics on how many actual people in the hometown are at a WrestleMania. So if you have WrestleMania in Toronto, how many people in that crowd were actually from Toronto?
That's a good question. Fair enough.
Unfortunately,
Isn't that
I'm not sure if we have I'm not sure if we
I
have the
don't know if
numbers
you
for
could
that.
find that information. I'm not sure you could, but I think and it's a bit tangential, but I find it an interesting point.
But
You know,
I think that's interesting as well.
Yep.
do we
But
got
I
some
think
people
I
coming in
think it's
here? Lex?
worth
Can we get some
it's
people
worth considering. It is worth considering that depending how they handle this, they could be walking into a precarious potential crowd hijack situation in Philly.
But I think it's more
Potentially.
important. But I don't think yeah, Philly, sure. Okay. It has the Philly dynamic, but I don't think this is just one town. I think that will maybe, you know, amplify that a little bit. But I think what you're walking into right now, if you stay on this course, we got quite a bit of time. I don't think they will. But if you go into Philly, regardless of whether it's all whatever 60% Philly, 40% international, which I doubt it is, you're gonna get Rock's gonna get booed right now.
He
Right
got
now, if you had Rock versus Roman, you would have more Rocky sucks chance than we had in the mid 90s.
Here's the thing, too. On opening up Monday Night Raw, they had that their opening video montage at the beginning, and then they cut to the crowd before it was who was the first person that came out on Monday night? Was it Seth? Yeah, before Seth's entrance, you could already hear the boos and the Rocky sucks in that
Oh, yeah.
in that 1.5 seconds before they hit Seth's music.
And Michael Cole even acknowledged it. He's like, "What is this? 1996 again?"
Yeah.
Yes. I love that line.
But that's telling, if they're acknowledging stuff like that, because WWE
Yep.
doesn't generally like to do that.
Yep. If they
Well,
don't
Vince
want you
McMahon
to
doesn't
know
generally
about
like to
it,
do that.
this is true. That
Okay,
is a different regime.
Fair point.
But
Fair
if
point.
they don't want you to know about it or to remember it, WWE will wipe things. So they'll ignore it until it's gone.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're acknowledging it, yes, is a little telling. I think so. To go back to your question earlier, John, I'm pretty sure they are very cognizant of how over Cody is. In fact, some of the rumors include Dwayne being very much 100% on board with
I
Cody. So
saw
who
that
knows?
today. Who
So who
posted that
knows?
in chat
Maybe
today?
all of this is just a like a circuitous way to get back to
Okay,
what
so
we
it
thought was
comes back to our
predictable.
original point, which is part of the reason we're sitting here right now, is that it's not just talking about Raw and talking about that, it's talking about the nature of fandom.
Oh boy.
And I feel like that's, to me, that I'm much more passionate about that than the storyline WWE, because this is the culture. What kind of culture, especially as a father. Sorry, Lex, I want to stop for a second. Do we got anybody who's coming in here? Or we
Not at the moment, no. But
no,
I sent
who's
the links.
coming?
I sent the links out to our YouTube, our Facebook, and our Twitch. Whoever wants to join in, just follow the link, and as long as you won't swear, we'll let you in.
I was just saying, like, the thing that really just keeps coming back, and it's whether it's Star Wars or, I mean, Lord of the Rings, less so. Lord of the Rings is usually pretty benign fandom, but Star Wars is nasty. Like, video games are nasty. It's just the culture of fandom is just one of those things that I felt like that I really wanted to. And I said it before, what I like about what I think we try to do on the show is kind of go, you know what? We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We don't need to be jerks. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, man. Am I naive? I don't know. Maybe I'm naive.
Well, here's the thing: is that like there's like kind of to bring together what you and Chico have been saying, as well as that, like, I guess when I was referring to John Cena and his initial prime run in WWE, where it was "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," it was a healthy way for all of us fans to voice our displeasure for Cena, but it was also a healthy way for the kids to be able to say, "Let's go Cena," and actually try to yell over the adults or whoever, the Cena haters. And that made it a lot of fun. That made it a lot and that made it a lot of uh it made it a good, healthy way to get everybody's voice in, and you could hear it on the archival footage that everybody just cared about what Cena was doing in that in whatever match that he was in, and um,
That's that's an interesting point. The Cena tweener phase. I'm not the Cena sucks people. I mean, that's like the the retcon of Kurt Angle. It's like, oh, when you say you suck, it means whatever. It's like
and
I
now it's
really
become a term of endearment again.
yeah, but that's a rewrite. Like I think the Cena thing is really interesting because I remember watching. I wasn't watching. I saw this thing pop up. This had to be 2000, maybe 11, and it was this cartoon of there was two panels, and it was wrestling fan now. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. He had banners all over, and then it was after John Cena retires. We miss John Cena. We miss John Cena.
Yep.
And I remember thinking about that, like, yeah, that's kind of how that goes. Like the Cena sucks thing, I think they actually genuinely thought Cena sucks because I remember seeing Cena all the time. And I've said this before on the show. The one thing that I've had to check myself on as a wrestling fan is taking these guys for granted.
Yep.
And it's like we got so used to these guys when they're around so long, and you can just say they suck. But then it's like, man, you shouldn't boo anyone. Like when these guys are there, when a Cena's there, when a Shawn Michaels comes back in 2002, they shouldn't be booed. The beauty of booing John Cena is that he was there so much you could boo him. There was no risk of missing him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not 100% sure where I'm going with this, but it's like there's a way to hate a wrestler that is almost endearing. It's like, you're here so much, I'm so bored of you. You heard it here first. I'm saying this. That will happen to Cody. That
it depends.
No.
You're guaranteeing it. You are guaranteeing it.
I'm guaranteeing it. I'm guaranteeing it. That will happen to Cody. There will be a point where it will be inexplicable, but the crowd will start going, boo. And the wolves will get quieter. Guaranteed, because that is the cycle of wrestling.
Yeah, it is cyclical.
It's hard to see now. But there will be a time where there is Cody fatigue. Guaranteed.
That's with anybody. You're pretty much right on about that.
I'm 100% right.
I mean, we saw that with multiple times with The Rock himself as well.
We saw with Cody in AEW.
Stone Cold. People booed Stone Cold.
Now, Cody was like founder, right? One of the elite.
Yeah, one of the AEW originals.
And I think he got on the wrong side of the fandom after he took his promise to never contend for the world title there too seriously.
Right.
And so eventually the fans turned on him, and he was wondering what the heck was going on.
Yeah, it'll happen again.
Yeah, but I think he learned from that to the point where now he's got the people like firmly in his camp for now.
Career baby faces in the entire history of wrestling. You can count them on one hand, and I'm not even sure you get the 5.
Yep, because even Hogan turned.
Right? Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he still got booed.
Yeah, he did.
He still got booed. Now that was a one-off. I don't count
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But career all-time baby faces who never had the crowd turn on them. I can only think of Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else at all.
Yeah.
There's no one else.
There's
Well-
no one I can. Nope, there's nobody.
Well, if there's anybody that you can
We're
think
booing
of
the
right
Rock
now.
now.
Well, if there's
I would love to
anybody
put that
listening
out.
right
Career
now, if
baby
any,
faces, let's hear it because I challenge you. Prove me wrong. Rey Mysterio is the only one.
I can't even think of anybody. Well, okay, I'm not old enough to know how the whole Bruno Sammartino tenure went.
I don't think that
That-
counts, man. I think everything we're talking about is in a post Hulkamania world.
Right, in the WrestleMania
Everything, the
era.
entire metric of wrestling
Yeah.
is post Hulkamania. Everything we're talking about.
Yeah,
All
40
of
years
that
of that
stuff's
and
great.
40 years of WrestleMania too. Crazy, man.
Yeah.
This
But,
is this
but
40.
honestly, every metric we're talking about when it comes to faces and booking and everything, it is all post Hulkamania. It has to be.
Yeah.
You cannot compare it to the Sammartino, a 10-year reign of Bruno Sammartino, although Reigns probably, I mean,
No, don't even compare it to
God.
Bruno. He's not gonna go there.
no, but I
and,
mean,
and,
it's
and the
supposed to be
culture,
God.
No, yeah.
and the culture of and the culture of the way the business is run these days. It's not a 10-year run's never going to happen again.
No,
It's
no.
it's I mean, it's
And now-
phenomenal. It's
yeah.
phenomenal the fact that
So-
he's
Probability suggests that Cody Rhodes as a career babyface is, if we would use probability language, highly unlikely.
All right.
Highly
But going back to that, now you're making me think. We're talking Bruno, we're talking Roman, we're talking Hogan. I guess you can shoehorn Backlund in there because he seems to have come back into the Michael Cole conversation about the reign lengths, even though they jerry rigged that a little because of Antonio Inoki's milestones in wrestling too. Anyway, what was I going to say? So to me, I think we're going to safely end up back where we wanted, which was Cody facing Roman to end WrestleMania 40, because what is the point of Roman Reigns surpassing Hogan in reign length? He will never be number one. He will never beat Bruno Sammartino, mark my words, ever. So what's the point of being number two? There's no point.
none. They
So
have
I think
to
that
do
all
this.
of that is smoke and mirrors.
No, what happens is Cody has to dethrone Roman 100%. I still am not holding out the possibility of a title unification because I do believe the world heavyweight champion, as we talked about in the show this week, I think it has disappointed. It's been disappointing as a championship. Seth has not been disappointing as a champion.
Yeah.
I just don't. The fact that he crossed the Rubicon there a little bit, where it's like there was a point where you legitimized it, but you should have lost it to get it in the mix.
yes, yeah.
He held it just too long.
Yeah, his
Just
story is not the same as Roman's, and so he should have lost it by now, and then he could have regained it. But I think there
That'd be
was a
fine.
time there. I agree with you.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
should have probably already lost it, and it should have bounced around just a little bit
Mhm.
by now. Yeah, because
Yeah.
now it's like it just feels
It's flaccid.
draggy.
It doesn't. It doesn't really. Yeah, it's not. I'm not feeling that championship right now. Now, could they redeem it? Yes,
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, and they can redeem it with.
But
Gunther.
they redeem it with guys like Gunther. They redeem it with, you know what I mean? Like they don't redeem it with Cody. Cody's story ends one way. Cody, the beauty of Cody getting that belt off of Roman is he could drop it in 3 months. It won't matter.
No, it won't.
And I like that. Get that belt back into the mix. Get that one back into the mix.
Mhm.
You know,
And that was
all
something-
of the belts need to be moving around more. All of them do. And I think Steve said that on. I loved what he said in the show that every single title at WrestleMania 40 should change hands.
And here's the thing too, is that I think that was one of the things that compelled Attitude Era wrestling fans, and as well as Ruthless Aggression Era wrestling fans, because there was a fluidity to championship reigns, and the
Yeah.
fact that and here's the thing as well. One of the reasons why The Rock, his championship reigns never got stale is because he only held the title for the longest he ever held the title was 3 months.
Yeah.
And he lost it. And what's the reason why? Is because The
Well,
Rock didn't want to look like Superman.
yeah. And how long was Austin's longest run when he won it at 14? He didn't even go, I don't think he went 6 months with that, did he?
We'll find out right now. Let me just
Give me
let,
one
let,
sec.
let me
I'm
look
gonna
at
be right
list.
back.
It's such an iconic time.
Because we're live
But
chatting,
it was
I'm gonna take a quick second. I'm gonna be right back. Give me 2
yeah,
seconds, guys.
Yep.
it was such a crazy time and super frenetic. And I think that's part of why it was legendary, right? Like it's a lot of bouncing back and forth, like you said, a fluidity to the title reigns. It was exciting. Like it kept people on the edge of their seat, wondering like what's going to happen on Monday or on Friday.
Right. But okay, so let's see.
But
Stone
but
Cold.
but I'm also partly disagreeing in that it's good to have some of these long reigns. I think we shouldn't have another Roman like reign for a long time. I think that kind of proved itself. But also the bloodline storyline is past its prime. So I think they need to do something else at this point because they're like, to me, Jimmy, as entertaining as he is, that feels like grasping at straws.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I like this particular era of wrestling. I enjoyed the fact that Roman Reigns has held the title for this long. I like it. I really I like it. I like the continuity. I like the idea that that there could be a champion that is that dominant
Mhm.
in today's wrestling landscape. Like I
Yeah,
like the story. I like the story of that. And at the same time, we're starting to see we have your extended long runs of Io Sky as the champion. You have an extended long run. Seth is the champion. Gunther, the longest reigning intercontinental champion in WWE history. And and those have been very, very good things. It's just it's maybe one of those times now that that things have to change up. And
yeah,
and I wouldn't mind having Cody not have the championship for a long time, because it'll make people want to see Cody chase the championship yet again.
yeah, yeah. He's good on the chase, but at some point you got to give him the belt. But then he's also really good as a chaser.
No, yeah, exactly. It's
So yeah,
And so and so I know John's not here to hear this, but I guess I'll reiterate it with him. His title reign, his longest title reign was 175 days. That was when he won the World Wrestling Federation Championship against The Rock at WrestleMania X7.
what was the reign?
175 days.
That's it. That's as long as
That was
Steve
his
Austin held it.
Steve Austin's longest reign was 175 days.
Well, I mean, when you beat up Lita with a chair, I guess you're bound to lose the championship at some point, eh?
Oh God, no.
Oops, gonna get you canceled.
And so yeah,
I
let's
mean, that
see.
was kayfabe though, so I mean,
Of course. And it was broken by Kurt Angle on September the 23rd, 2001 at Unforgiven, when he won it in his hometown, and was carried on his shoulders with the current Mrs. Jarrett in tow.
yeah, she was there celebrating her now ex-husband. So,
Yep. And he
yeah,
then Angle held it for 15 days, and then Stone Cold won the championship back on October the 8th, 2001, held it for another 62 days until that fateful day on December the 9th, 2001, when Chris Jericho defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock to become the very
same
first
night.
undisputed WWE heavyweight champion.
Johnny, welcome back. Mr.
Thanks.
Tan just answered your question about Stone Cold's reign.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
So his longest reign was 175 days. interrupted so that and he won that from The Rock at WrestleMania X7. It was interrupted on September the 23rd, 2001 by Kurt Angle, who held it for 51 days, and then Stone Cold won it back and held it for another 61. So and then ultimately lost it to Chris Jericho for when he became the undisputed champion.
Was that Vengeance?
WWE Vengeance.
Had it for less than 6 months at his longest.
Yeah.
Gotta love some of those short reigns too, like Kane, 24 hours.
Yeah, that was the weird thing with Ruthless Aggression I felt they did it. That was like it again. That went a little in the other direction.
Well, the Kane, the 24-hour reign of Kane was
the Attitude Era had more time.
Firmly the Attitude Era.
Yeah. No, yeah. Correct.
That was a really frenetic time for title change.
We got anybody correcting me on Rey Mysterio as the only career babyface? Nobody yet.
No, man. I think you are pretty much bang on. I'm trying to think, man.
Yeah, and the Rock's
babyface,
and I think as far as I can see right now, looking at the stats, the Rock's reign.
I got one.
Okay,
I got two.
Tell.
It's Rey Mysterio and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yes. Okay. Ricky Steamboat. Yep. I've never seen him as a bad guy ever.
I think that's it.
Never heard of him being heel.
I think that's it.
And the Rock's longest reign.
And then I mean, if you're gonna go like, I mean, that's still post Hulkamania era, I guess, so that counts. But I mean, still, I mean, from what I hear, Bruno is just a good guy.
Yeah, I think
even Backlund turned.
Who would you say if we? Yeah, you're right. Even Backlund turned, and even when he came back, he got all weird. If you had,
God.
If you, yeah, that was just
it's
weird.
funny though. So it's so funny how what's the word I'm looking for? How senile he looked. How senile he looked. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I like this bow tie.
Yeah.
Remember you wore the bow tie a lot?
Yeah, I love it.
If you had to go to NWA and WCW, could you pick a career babyface?
I mean, Harley Race was a bad guy at some point too.
I will be right back. I'll be back.
I think. I mean, Flair was definitely also a bad guy. Dirtiest player in the game, of course. NWA. Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes may be close.
Yeah, you know what?
They're the American Dream, the common man.
You know what?
That's one guy that's
perfect.
Have been. Have been.
And look what we just did there.
And then we looped back.
We just identified possibly the third career babyface who happens to be Cody Rhodes' daddy.
There you go.
That is interesting.
Which is, I think, why it wouldn't be as easy for Cody to fall back into heel mode like you're saying he will. He'll be booed eventually.
There'll be fatigue.
Yeah, there'll be fatigue, but I think Cody is a smart guy that has learned how to adapt. So I think it won't be so tiring that we'll just like boo him out of the building because we're just tired of it. I think he's going to be able to.
His smartest move would be when the crowd cools, kayfabe injury.
Yeah, or I mean, because he can turn up the heel dial as well. I think he's smart enough to be able to do that. But
the only problem with that, Chico, is you'd have to have a face that was so it would make sense. And here's where I can kind of self-correct as I'm listening to myself talk.
Yeah.
The fatigue of Cody would have to be because someone else was on his heels.
Okay.
Now, we have no idea. I don't think there's anybody in the locker room right now.
Yeah, not yet. I think we're going to see. I think it's a future person. Yeah, I think it'll be someone that we don't know yet.
But I mean, yeah, it would take somebody pretty special at this point. And look, what I love about their booking is what did they do last night? A bull rope match with Shinsuke.
Mm-hmm. And the bull rope, also historic bull rope as well, because that's the same one that Dusty used. Again, another one of those reasons why.
And Cody pulled heel moves, but I mean, after Shinsuke, again, it was brilliant booking because Shinsuke blows the mist. Cody pulls the rope up,
And while you were gone, I think we realized that Dusty Rhodes may be that another
maybe
career
the only
baby
other.
face.
We may have
Mhm.
3 career baby faces.
Yeah. I mean, a
Yeah.
guy
Which-
who everybody just appreciated.
I can't think of. I mean, certainly in the polka dot era, he was not a heel. He may not have been.
No, I think he was
super
still
over.
an underdog there. I mean,
Yeah, like he wasn't crazy over, but
people wanted him. I think he was one of those guys that people wish that Vince would have not pushed down so much. Yeah, I think people wanted to cheer for the common man on the WWF stage, but he didn't get that chance.
I find it funny. I don't know if you guys feel this, but I look back on the fact that we were WWF territory, and most of our feeds, most of our wrestling, guys like Dusty Rhodes, like the Texas Tornado was a Von Erich, and I had no appreciation for the Von Erichs.
Me neither. It was the Texas
You know what I
Tornado
mean?
for me.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. This doesn't mean, like I wasn't personally exposed to the significance of a
Johnny,
Dusty
fun
Rhodes.
fact. Fun fact. I think my very first action figure of a wrestler ever, Texas Tornado.
Look at that.
Wow.
Is that the exact figure?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
is
is
that the old-
probably my first
That's
ever.
is that the Hasbro?
Yeah, but the spring is dead, so it doesn't it doesn't fully clothesline anymore.
Nothing like Von Erich. Like,
But there you go. Look at that. Wrestling memorabilia expert.
That's the
It's
same
right beside
mold
me,
they
too.
probably used for the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
all
one
of
of the
them.
warrior,
Yeah.
one of the warrior ones, yeah. But I think the warrior figure that most people remember is this one where you push the back down. You push the back down and it
I never
launches.
had a Warrior figure. I'm gonna say this right now, and I know there's some listening to us. I'm gonna say this, and I almost feel ashamed. I was never an Ultimate Warrior fan.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be the only one that's like that. Everyone,
Never.
there was
I kinda
a
missed that
segment
era
of people
myself.
that didn't fall for it.
Just didn't
What
get
was
it.
that?
Well, it was I missed the Ultimate Warrior. So
I know I was right in that sweet spot. Like Hogan was my original hero, and then it kind of like I did copy the Ultimate Warrior as a kid a lot, and like shaking the ropes and but it was I could tell that Hogan was better at being top guy. Like I couldn't articulate it as a kid, but he didn't convince me. Like he didn't win me over like Hogan did.
mhm.
But nor did Macho Man. I didn't even think, and I love Macho Man, but I couldn't buy him as top guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, because of him though, because of Macho Man, I do like to snap into a Slim Jim sometimes.
My
Ooh,
kids
yeah,
did
dig it.
that because of LA Knight. So and I could talk about this all night. I'm finding, where are we at? Like the thing that I'm really struggling with is I found myself really soured on where this whole "We Want Cody" movement is going. I feel like they're really taking a page out of the Daniel Bryan playbook,
Yep.
right? That seems to be what this is.
Well, one of the rumors is that The Rock is so behind Cody that he wants to make it even greater than the Yes movement. So there's a
I think
rumor
they've already
that he's
succeeded in that.
well.
Personally.
I don't know in terms of the intensity and having to occupy Raw and stuff like that.
But that's
I think
but
there's a rumor that Dwayne was
Wait
one
a
of those
minute.
people.
Are they going to occupy Mania
Ooh, my gosh! In Philly.
in Philly?
that would be oh my goodness.
There's a rumor
Wow.
that Dwayne is one of the people that was behind giving everybody "We Want Cody" signs. There's that rumor.
Was that the Jose? Was that
Somebody mentioned in the thread, but I think like that was a
But
rumor.
they were all written in the same font,
right?
right? Yeah. So somebody planned
So organic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just before, hold on, I'm just going to interrupt you right there. You're listening to an emergency podcast of Ringside Heat, possibly more of these coming soon. But as of 10 seconds from now, we will have only 6 minutes left on Instagram Live. If you want to jump back off of Instagram Live and into and into the conversation with us, you can go to our Facebook on facebook.com/group/Ringside Heat, or to our YouTube, youtube.com, and just look up Ringside Heat. You'll find us live as well. We're on Twitch under my the Twitch account, as well as on YouTube as well. So anyway, go ahead and
Well, I
what
just
was
don't understand. How do the people who join get to actually talk to us? Does that happen?
yeah, I mean, all they'd have to do is follow the link, and then I would let them in if I would let them in as per
If
usual.
you're listening right now, if you're following us, hit the link, man. We want to talk to you. This is not just us. Like, we're here because we want to unpack this. So please, if you're listening right now, clash,
Not to call out anyone specifically. Right?
clash.
What
No,
up,
but
what up, Azim, as well?
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Azim's here. Yeah, come on, man. Azim, jump in.
Yeah, but remember, sometimes it could just be people just popping in and out, because I think like I just checked my
understand that.
Instagram
Saying,
a
don't
second
pop
ago,
in
and
and
Hey,
out.
if you
count
are,
was blank.
Anyways, I'm calling an Occupy Mania.
Woo!
However,
Ooh, Johnny, man, we're all gonna be there too. That's crazy.
it's a possibility. And
I
then
think, yeah, they could do that, and then they could, by the end of night 2, they could still crown Cody that way. It could still happen.
if that's legit and The Rock wants to kind of bury the yes movement, which I gotta admit is kind of brilliant.
Not bury. I wouldn't say bury. More like
That would
surpass.
bury the yes. That would bury
Surpass,
like
maybe.
I would say
Occupy Mania.
surpass, because I think that it wouldn't be burying. It would just be aspiring to even greater heights, because the yes movement will always be a part of the heritage of WWE.
You know what I'm gonna
at this
say,
point.
Barry?
It was legendary.
Because I'm gonna say Barry because where is Daniel Bryan right now?
Yeah, he's in the other place, but he left off with the
Barry.
company in he left off with the company in a very good situation, and
Good for
he'll
him.
one day be in
Not
the Hall
him.
of Fame, no doubt.
Sure. Okay. The other thing that I think is, and again, you know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. The Rock is going to face Roman Reigns. The Rock is going to win. And
I don't think so.
Damian Priest is going to cash in.
I heard that on the show, and great job on the show, guys, but you are god dang ridiculous.
I've been trolling I'm surprised I'm not blocked by WWE right now. I don't know how many tweets or X's or whatever they're called now. Damian Priest has probably received 5 of them. I am so irrelevant that he has not replied to one. And I wish he would. I really wish he would just give me the satisfaction of knowing he saw one of them. Because I know we're being played, and this is all about Damian Priest cashing in on The Rock. I know. That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. I'm telling you.
Oh, Johnny,
What else
I
we
really
got?
hope you're wrong. Like, I know you're going to be wrong, but I hope you're wrong.
Until we're there, I can't be proven wrong.
That's
of course
true.
not.
That's very
Of course.
true.
Of course,
Mhm.
man.
But that and so I guess I'm thinking about all of these things. I mean, I really like I honestly really like the idea of us being the fans that the fans should be like. And because yeah, as you said, we're not dirty. We're not we're not looking for a way to
Put people down.
to put people down or anything like that. We love this we love this art form. We love this genre of entertainment. We want to be able to appreciate it. And you know, unfortunately, you know, it may and maybe, you know, me saying all of this, that my nose will be like up in the air and be all snooty and all that sort of stuff. But we that there still can be a diversity of opinions in the fandom. There still can be a spectrum of opinions in the fandom that we don't have to resort to going to somebody's social media, making making deletion threats against somebody,
I th-
um,
yeah.
Shout out Matt Hardy.
and yeah, and running them off of
Please.
the platform. I mean, like it's been so this whole cancel culture and this running people off of platform and off of social media where you silence people's voices, that has become such a huge problem, not just in the wrestling fandom, but in
Just
every aspect of it.
all over the internet.
And don't get me wrong, there are people who do not deserve the privilege of having their voices heard.
Anybody who trolled the Rock's daughter should lose their privileges.
No doubt at all. And it's pointless. It is dangerous. It doesn't make anybody feel safe. And I mean, and considering that this is like no one's gonna go and stalk me. I'm gonna say that. But then
I might. I might.
Look at that. That's the last thought you're going to hear on Instagram Live as we have 10 seconds left in the live. But join us right now. Join us on the YouTube or the x.com.
Be a good
Ringside
fan,
Heat.
guys.
Yes.
Be a good fan. Don't
There it
overdo
is.
it.
There it is. But yeah, no, it's it's like I get that people are very, very passionate about wanting Cody Rhodes to finish his story, and damn it, I am passionate about it too. But don't
Don't
go
bully.
about and getting somebody feeling so threatened that they can't find a way to be online. I mean, like the safest thing to do is to be online, because you're almost, I say, I'll reiterate that, almost the safest thing for you to be is online sometimes, because you're talking to the screen. You're talking to the screen, and the screen is not. It's not like you're confronting the person face to face until that happens, and that's not gonna be good. That's not supposed to happen. Anyway, it's such a complex issue, and my mind is racing in so many different ways right now.
Certainly.
It's just
Yeah, no, it's an issue that's been around since probably the dawn of the internet, and so it's never going to be solved in our lifetime as long as the internet exists. It's Pandora's box, so everything good that has come from it, there will be an equal amount of the other side. So, unfortunately, it will frustrate us to certain degrees from time to time, but it will exist as long as we have this privilege. And that's not to say I'm like not against it. It's just a reality of the situation. We just have to try and move past it, move forward. There are, I mean, unless you are one of those people that can shut people down, who are moderators of this thing, then I mean, it'll be there though, unfortunately.
And I know we're about to roll out, but I think of the great Bishop Barron, who said we've lost the art of religious argument, and I think in any topic that is heated, there was a time when we could talk about things. There was a time when we could debate. There was a time when somebody could stand across from me and believe the exact opposite of me, and it'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere along the line, that's gone. And what I feel like, what I really feel compelled to do, is to be the opposite of that. That we don't have to like everything, but we don't have to run stuff down. We can have opinions on it, and we can say, I didn't like this, or I didn't like that. But this ad hominem bit where we start attacking people, that's problematic.
Mm-hmm.
That's just systemically, that's just full stop problematic.
Yeah. So I think, long story short, like what you like, but let other people like what they like as well,
And
how they want to like it.
Leave them be.
And that also kind of like speaks to the idea, like that complex philosophical idea. Now we're really getting into this.
Oh boy.
The complex philosophical idea that we have, the internet is basically the Wild West of ideas right now. And
whereas it could be the Areopagus.
Yes, exactly. And it's better to have. And personally, for me, even though there are some very horrible takes, horrible, unintelligent, even stupid takes on many different issues that are going around the world right now, there's still I still would rather have that wild west of free speech that we have on the internet rather than the Arianopolis.
No. The Areopagus was the place where all would meet and debate freely.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad.
No, it's okay because it's a bit of an obscure reference.
I heard esophagus, but I don't know.
The Areopagus in the Book of Acts was like one of these places where people would meet and debate religion. They would debate philosophy. They debate religion. It was just a place you went to argue. The Areopagus is like what the internet could be.
Yes. Okay. As opposed to being like, as opposed to being Babylon.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or or a place where where opinions and things. I mean, it's already happening right now.
Emotion runs too hot, and again, the fallacy always becomes ad hominem. You're attacking the person. That's a problem.
Yes.
When you're attacking the person, attack an idea, disagree with an idea, but stay away. It's an ad hominem fallacy. This is basic stuff.
And we've lost it. We've lost
that.
And
the art of
we want to make people
peaceful.
We want to shame people. We want to make them feel bad. We want to make them regret that they disagreed with us. It becomes this spiteful engagement as opposed to, you know what, you don't agree with me, that's cool.
Yeah, the art of peaceful discourse.
The art of debate is lost on the internet.
Yes.
Unless you're watching William Lane Craig or some other people who debate beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, the idea of debate it's in fandom. In fandom, disagreement doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's rare. Sorry.
It's rare. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. It's rare. And here we are in a state in wrestling where, and I think why I was so passionate about this is because, not that I should. Are we cutting off for the Instagram?
No, Instagram live is cut off, but everywhere else we're still we're still live everywhere else.
Here's my problem: is that the whole WWE thing, and not that I should hold WWE to a higher standard, because many times it has failed that. But the worst part of wrestling fandom, to me, reared its ugly head in AEW. Sorry, AEW fans, anyone who's listening. I don't get it. I don't get why there's such angry people. And I feel like maybe WWE's fans have been that. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm not one of them. But I hate the idea. Again, it comes back to, why are you trolling The Rock's daughter? Why are you doing this? Why would you do that? Why would you think that's an okay decision? You know, what do you gain from that, man? Like, what do you gain from that? It's just incredibly disappointing to me. You know, the only thing you should be trolling at all, which is truth, is that Damian Priest is going to cash in on The Rock.
All right. My goodness.
That's it.
Yep. He cut his camera. He's done.
Okay, fine. I lied. Apparently, the Instagram live is still ongoing right now. The live video is still ongoing.
Yes,
so we didn't get the 1 hour cutoff. Interesting.
We got 3 career baby faces. Somebody prove us wrong. We got 3 career baby faces.
Can you cut us off before John comes back to the Damian Priest point again?
It's a spoiler, Chico.
I think it's Raw after Mania. That's my call.
That he cashes in?
Yep, on whoever has the disco consolation prize world title.
I want to be on The Rock. No, that's what's going to happen. He's going to pull a Seth. Rock's going to beat Roman. I don't know. Cody's going to join Judgment Day or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Oh my gosh, what's with it? These are horrible takes.
Like that
See,
makes
now
no
this is the time
sense.
of the now
I
this is the
can't
time of the
even
stream
back
that we're
that
starting to
up.
get real silly.
I can't even back that up. Cody joins Judgment Day, but I think I tweeted that to Triple H. I
Hey,
did.
R-Truth can if R-Truth can get himself into the Judgment Day, my God.
and get beat up and see it as an initiation and come back.
Oh my god. I
He's
could talk
cold,
about
man.
our
Man,
truth
I
for
love
another
R-Truth.
4
Yes.
hours. Did you watch his interview with Bully Ray and Mark Henry?
Yes,
No.
absolutely
Can we
did.
put that
Busted
on right
open,
now?
man.
Because it's
I'm a big fan.
absolutely
Shout
brilliant.
out Busted Open, hashtag Busted Open 24/7.
Oh my god, that has to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's so good. It's a good half hour of just jokes. I mean, he shows up on the Zoom call with them, not wearing a shirt, just
Dude,
because.
he's not wearing pants.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to wear a shirt. My bad."
He literally does the whole interview in tighty whities. Well, no, he's in
so
boxers.
funny. He's just so
Yeah.
funny.
I thought Mark Henry was gonna die.
Yeah, because he
when
was cracking up
laughing at him.
so much.
Oh man, is this gonna turn into a react video?
Yeah, no. Like, no, you know, we all need rest at some point. But I mean, long story short, be a good fan. Damian Priest cashing in on The Rock, whatever it is, right? I mean, that's what a Tuesday night delight.
Mm-hmm. R-Truth
So-
is selling more merch than John Cena. That's great.
Is he really? Is
No,
that
that's the
He was
title of the
for
video.
a time when he debuted that shirt where he
selling his
it's like-
childhood hero?
no, when he he surpassed everyone. He was the top merch seller in WWE for a couple weeks, like not long ago with this Judgment Day.
Yeah,
shirt.
no, I remember that. Yeah, I remember
Number
that.
one.
Hey,
I
live,
still-
laugh, and love. It's
Well, listen,
a universal concept.
I'm still calling Awesome Truth dethrones Judgment Day and Mania.
I would not mind that. That would be fun. That would be great.
I think it's the way they're gonna go. Now they got
Yep,
DI
Awesome
set,
Truth.
DIY set. Listen, I'm a DIY fan, huge, but they're set up to go at Elimination Chamber. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
No, I think it's gonna be. I think Judgment Day will hold the tag belts until
Yeah.
Mania, and I think you're right. I think it'd be great if what they're building towards is
it's
Awesome
a
Truth.
replay of Sammy and Kevin, just a little bit funnier,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like it makes a lot of sense. It's got the same.
Oh man,
same
and
kind
that's another topic for another day too, man. Sami Zayn, once the hottest thing in wrestling for a few months.
This time last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Now where
year
will he go?
Here's the thing. Okay, you know what? I'll chime in on that one over
Ooh,
here.
I like that. I
Just
like that.
because other people are making are taking center stage at the moment. I mean, first of all, Cody deserves it, number one, right? And there's a lot of and there's a lot of other moving parts as well. My God, like who knew the whole Yeet thing with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso would get over the way it did? It's yes, we know that stardom is fickle. We know that stardom is fleeting, and
Only
just
one
because you're on,
champion at a time.
yeah, and just because you are a star one day, and because you are you're on top of the world one day, doesn't mean that you're going to be on top of the world the next day. It is an anomaly for somebody like The Rock to have this sustained sort of popularity anywhere, not
Yeah.
let alone the wrestling business.
Yeah, but Rocky sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go too. That and that's the and that's the thing
Right
is
now.
that yes, exactly. But it doesn't. I don't think just because Sammy isn't, A-list number one up against Seth Rollins or or with the bloodline all over again, whatever. It doesn't diminish his star. It doesn't diminish what he did. It doesn't diminish that the kind of the amount of things, the good things, and the credit that he built through the bloodline story. And you know what? Maybe he won't go down as one of the Mount Rushmore guys, but dag nabbit, he's one of the best guys of this generation. He's one of the best in this generation.
Hold on. Let me backpedal here, man. Nobody's denying that. Why are you mad?
I'm not mad. It's just I'm very passionate about Sami Zayn. And
You sound like you're in disbelief. I'm just asking
No,
because I'm
that's
curious. Where is he
That's
going?
passion, man. That's passion.
Where,
I-
where do you
I
think
feel
he's?
But like the
Where do you think? What's his booking next? By the way, that's all I wanted to know, really, because
Sammy-
I want.
Oh, I can
I
tell you. I
want
can tell you what
because he
Sammy.
just came back from injury too.
If they do this right, they got to do a couple things. First of all, they got to get the IC belt off of Gunther.
they got to get The Rock. They've got to get
Priest is gonna
Damian
have-
Priest cashing in
Priest
on
is
The
gonna
Rock.
have the championship off the Rock.
Mother
We know that.
effers. Yeah.
We know that. We know that. Priest is gonna cash in. We know that. He's gonna have a long run. How long has Reigns? He's been 1,000 days. Damian Priest will be 2,000 days.
Oh, brother.
So that's
Anyways,
gonna happen. That's off the table.
Yeah.
That's off the table.
So Sami Zayn.
So Sami Zayn, I think you're gonna move. Look, I know Sami Zayn held the IC belt, but he held it pre-Gunther. I think what Gunther has done with the IC belt
Elevated.
it's the right place for Sammy. I know I would have called Chad Gable, and I still do, actually, in many ways, as a rightful dethroner of Gunther. Would make perfect sense to me.
Yes, it would.
Why am I alone here?
Oh, and this.
But I think IC for
So
Sammy.
you're never okay. You're never alone if you walk with Ringside Heat or whatever the heck that line was.
Yeah, whatever we do.
Yeah, whatever.
Aces and eights, man. Aces and eights.
I think the revitalized IC post Gunther is a good place for Sammy.
Now, this is okay. I don't want to go much longer than this, man. I love wrestling talk, but dang. I will say this is why a lot of people also have a problem with Cody potentially challenging Seth for the world title, because the Raw side has so much talent that there's so many people you could put into a feud with Seth for that belt, and even with Gunther for the Intercontinental title, that who do you have left for SmackDown's undisputed WWE Universal Championship? It's got to be Cody. This is why a lot of people are upset.
And the thing with Cody, and I said this before, Cody, and I said this to my kids, they're like, they want to see Cody win. I'm like, yeah, he'll win, but he won't keep it long.
Yeah. No, but the point is to get him there, and then he's your poster boy for a while.
For a while, but Cody does. I don't think Cody needs.
No, he doesn't need the belt, but it would be good for him to hold it.
He needs the title now. He needs to finish the story. Blah blah blah. He needs to do that.
And
but that belt, that title. Sorry, I keep saying belt.
Sorry,
but that
belts are for holding up pants. Oh boy, wrong voice to do today.
Yeah, pal. Hey pal, belts are for holding up pants.
Boy. Cummerbund.
But I really think the title needs to be back in circulation.
Yep. Which is why they need
Cody
to put it on
not
Cody
need that title
already.
for very long.
Yeah.
So Sammy won't get it off Cody. I think a Randy turn. I think Randy pulls it off of Cody. Randy. You could run a number of scenarios there.
Yeah.
But I think Sammy's in the wings right now. But I feel that this time last year, big fight feel Elimination Chamber, Sammy Roman. We were there for the only rematch at Coca-Cola Coliseum.
That's right. That was fun.
Yep.
Was the Coca-Cola Coliseum in March 2023, and we were all there, and that was brilliant.
That was beautiful.
It was fantastic in that small venue, seeing that again. So Sammy's fine. Sammy's a bankable commodity. He's a noble commodity. This guy will hold a title, and I think he built enough credit. Look, man, he gave the bloodline story of last year, which all of us would agree may be the best story in the history of wrestling. And it would not have happened without Sami Zayn.
It wouldn't have reached the height.
Wouldn't have reached that height without Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Not at all. And KO coming in after. That tag team championship was the main event of WrestleMania 39.
Yeah.
It was.
It was absolutely the most riveting. It was brilliant.
Yep.
So I
I
feel
mean,
like Sammy's
it
got
had
a
Jay,
lot of credit.
it had Sammy, and
Sammy's got a
two of the most
lot of
potent
credit
ingredients.
right now. He hasn't even
Yeah.
cashed in. You know what I mean? So that guy's gonna wear a strap. I just don't doubt it, and it'll be a significant one. I don't think you forget that. You know, like what did you say, Lex? Last year was a mousetrap to main event in 1 year.
Yeah.
Um, did he maintain it? Not really. But can he get back there? Yes.
He will.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Same with KO. KO's another one of those guys where it's like you could put him anywhere, anywhere, and he'll do just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they are, and they're two Canadian boys, and that's what I love about Sammy and KO. I'll tell you what, right now, my wife pops, and she's been to several shows now. She will pop bigger for Sammy and KO and Edge when he was one of us. But remember when KO came out in the house show?
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't on the card. Man, I
Mhm.
think it was LA Knight calling out Canadians. Was it
That's
LA
right.
Knight?
Yeah, LA Knight. It was LA Knight.
It was LA Knight.
Yep.
And that was one of the first times I really saw what LA Knight was made of.
Yes.
And Steve
I was like,
pointed it
yeah.
out. Steve pointed it out. He's like, watch this guy. Look at him. Look at him work the crowd. Look at him. Like, that was the first time that my attention really went, holy crap, this guy's the real deal. And he starts talking and shooting on Toronto. And he wasn't even on the card. KO comes out. The place blows up. KO, Sammy are just money. I shouldn't say money. They're credit. They're bankable.
Treasures, man. They're
treasures.
Canadian treasures.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they're WWE treasures. You know, they
Yes.
just do good work.
Yeah.
My hope going forward from all of this is that there's a lot of guys I want to see when these belts get released, these titles get released. I want to see the Ricochets, even the Santos Escobars, a lot of guys. There's like, man, there's so much there. So much.
I'm gonna say pump the brakes on Ricochet though. I think he's a good hand and he's gonna give you good matches, but god dang it, he is the most boring mic man.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
I don't want him with a belt anytime soon.
Contrast that with his girlfriend.
Intercontinental Championship reign by Ricochet, good for a little while, only short term.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Ricochet really cool. He feels that like the fan of those indies and AEW, like with all the action packed stuff. Ricochet will whet that appetite.
So
yeah,
to bring this all back around, because and the three of us could talk about this, probably forever.
Oh
be
yeah,
a good fan.
But we started this conversation going, here's the horrible thing. Here's the horrible thing, and we're talking about the good things. That to me is the real takeaway from all of this, is that, again, let's be the fans everybody should be, which it breaks my heart to see people. Wrestling should be fun. It should be a bit silly. It should be a bit ridiculous. We don't watch wrestling to take things it's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
We know what's going on.
Like, we can't possibly take life that seriously if we're this invested in wrestling. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because life isn't that complex. It's really fun. And what wrestling always gives us is this beautiful morality play. I think where I get really triggered and where I get really incensed is when I see the dark side of not the ring, the dark side of the seat,
Mm-hmm.
the dark side of the arena, not the dark side of the ring. Because the dark side of the arena, I think, is even worse. Because that's what keeps these guys, how do we put this? When we're at our worst as fans, we force the industry to feed that. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
there? It's like,
It makes sense to me.
like, what is it we love about wrestling? And it's not the flippity flip blue blood crap that is supposed to be pro wrestling.
It's fun.
Sports entertainment.
It's
Sports
entertaining, yeah.
It's the same as a TV show, man. It's like you get invested. I don't know. I've never seen a fan base. Well, I shouldn't say haven't, but I mean, like I'm a Walking Dead fan, and I've said this on the show before. Like at the end of season 6, when Negan showed up, that destroyed me because I didn't understand who was going to die in season 7. And I was invested in. I'm just all, I'm so in. But it wasn't like I was sitting there going, "You jerks, you're going to kill somebody." And I'm not trolling the daughter of, the stars in the show. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a show. It's a story. Yep. I'm invested in the story. But there's a weird thing with wrestling where those lines blur.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And those characters, it's a very fine line between the character and the real person.
Yep.
Because even the wrestlers say their character is themselves turned up.
Yep.
And it's one of the few entertainment, genres, the few forms where that line is really, really blurry. And I think as fans, we have an obligation to always check that. It's like they do that. They make themselves that vulnerable to us. Look, guys, we're in the indie scene. We know, look at these guys. We see them. When you meet these guys on a break, they're the same dudes that are in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
They're just working. As musicians, we know that. You know what I mean? Like, if we play a song, we play a song that somebody hates, and they don't like the song, are they gonna? I mean, I've had that happen. Somebody threatened me because I didn't know any nitty gritty dirt band, so it does happen. But I mean, that's the silliness. It's like when you can't blur that line between the art form and the people performing it. Do you know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, it's I think I know what you're trying to say. Is that what I'm hearing is that this genre of entertainment, this we know that we know the open secret of this industry. We know the open secret
now. Yeah.
Yeah, we know the open secret of this industry, and most of us, and we're from a generation. We're all from generations that that doesn't or that never grew up not knowing that open secret.
Yes.
And because of that open secret, there is there is a level of there is some places that you can get to which is amazing and beautiful, and being able to blur that line is what makes things so entertaining. The entire, for instance, let's refer back to the Daniel Bryan Yes movement thing and Occupy Raw and things like that. The lines were blurred as to like how much of that was Triple H or creative holding back Daniel Bryan, and then the groundswell of that organic love for Daniel Bryan at the time that were just coming together. And do we know if this was actually the plan all along? Were we played the whole time? No,
we'll never know.
Yeah. If we was it really all the fans turning so hard that WWE had to listen? We'll never know if it was all that. But there is elements of both that intertwine with each other that make some of the best things that we've ever seen in wrestling. Yet there's also the Edge and Lita and Matt Hardy situation, which was horrible and awkward. Entertaining as it was, it was still horrible and awkward. But
But they're curating, and what I
Yeah.
find interesting about Triple H and The Rock now being on the board is I feel like, especially Triple H, it's like they're curating the entire history of wrestling and going, let's play this move, let's do this move. You know, WWE has the benefit of going, look at this 40-year history, post Hulkamania, so 40 years. Look what we can do. Let's try this one. Let's try that one. Let's try that one. The problem is the stakes are higher in the social media landscape. And I think that brings this all back around, where it's like when you play those gambits, when you try and play an audience, I don't think they can always account for. It's like, you know, as a teacher and when you're dealing with, or even as a parent, you can't account for that unchecked time of the cyber time. The thing, like, you can manage things to a point, and then the wild west of the internet world, things just go bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, there's no way to police that. Maybe there shouldn't be, you know, but it can get so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It can get so bad that when companies like the WWE, who I do think have a moral obligation to their audience, and it's ironic to say moral with wrestling, I know that. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But shouldn't anybody be held to some moral standard? Shouldn't anyone? Anyone should be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I understand a corporation. If you watch The Corporation, the very definition of a corporation is that it's psychotic. Its only job is to preserve its own existence
And grow it and
grow
golf.
and just eat whatever opposes it. That is the job of a corporation. You have a publicly traded company. Its only obligation is to preserve its own. Yo! Look at this guy.
Who let this guy in?
I did.
Gentlemen.
How you doing, pal?
Oh, you know, it seems I jumped ship at the right time, but, you know, I couldn't ignore a rare live show.
Oh, we've been having a heck of a conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
It only took us an hour and a half of baiting him in for him to come on.
To tell you the truth, the nerdy reason why I just noticed this happen now was that the Final Fantasy VII demo released, and I've been playing that.
Oh,
I
jeez.
turned it off and finally looked at the alerts on my phone. Oh, wait a minute. The boys are up to something.
Oh, man. I wish I had a PS5 right now.
Just shooting the breeze.
Oh, dude. You're going to love this game whenever you play it.
Oh, I'm sure I will. I've been seeing some. I've been seeing some of the previews and discussing it with my fandom friends, and we're all so excited about everything about this game.
I know. I wish I was being paid by Square Enix for this amazing promo right now, but yeah, that's
And there's some people in the Square Enix, and there's some people in the influencer fandom right now who really don't deserve it. Who don't deserve to be paid by Square Enix, but somehow they are.
What? Fandom is ornery and goes too far? Since when? You can't be talking about wrestling.
Funny you should mention that.
Oh. So just repeat everything you said for the last 90 minutes.
Nah, it's okay. Wow. I think the main points that we kept circling around were: be a good fan, don't do death threats.
No.
Yeah, don't threaten anyone with deletion unless you're Matt Hardy.
Yeah, and that's mainly it. We just kind of shut the breeze from there.
Yeah, we got to watch out for some of these, for some of these words on YouTube. So yeah, that's why I've got to say that's why we got to say things like, deletion and self deletion and harm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, YouTube algorithms.
You cannot take it to that bad next echelon.
Yeah, I think. Oh,
there it is.
Yeah, just because I think the thing that triggered John tonight was Ava deleting her Twitter or X account because she was getting death threats based on people's
deletion threats of deletion.
Yeah, I mean, not to keep it not to just keep it in the video game world, but lately, like Last of Us 2 Part 2 has been remastered and everything like that. And so all the controversy from that has come up. They just released their behind the scenes documentary and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to give away the story, but one of the voice performers and motion capture performers received death threats because of the part she played that was written for her.
Oh wow.
And like her newborn son was threatened,
Jeez.
her family and all that kind of stuff. They, they took up like higher security in the house. Like they had to pass these threats on to police because they didn't like the plot of a video game.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's something I'm kind of actually worried about some of the Final Fantasy VII fandom right now because there are certain elements. There's always certain elements in any fandom, but
Yeah. I mean,
but
for those who don't know, it's a game from 1997, but it's all redone. So whatever happened in the original game, it's out the window. It's all up for grabs. So certain things that were deleted in the original game, maybe certain other things will get deleted instead, which you want to talk about death threats. I mean, at least, I don't know, they're all the way out in Japan, so maybe they're safer. I'm not sure. But I'd watch out for the English voice actors, though.
Oh, the English voice actors, yeah. And the thing is, these English voice actors, they are some of they're some of the they come across as some of the sweetest people ever. They love this game, they love this story, they love the work that they're doing, and they feel so blessed to be able to do that, to be able to contribute their voices to an iconic franchise. And the purity of it all. And that's the thing that we love about like the wrestling business, the purity when wrestling has that sort of that wide-eyed love for these performers, whether they be face, whether they be heel, and we have this level of respect for them, and we have this level of knowing that they've worked their hardest and they've taken so many injuries and bumps to do what they do in order to get onto even just a peep of the WWE TV time, let alone the WrestleMania stage. It's like it's like just like these seeing these guys, seeing the guys and girls I'm working with right now start off from the bottom and start from the bottom and they make it. And somehow they make it. It's like, yeah, boo the heels for them being heels and everything, but just don't threaten someone with self-deletion.
Let them leave. Let them leave. Live. Let them live.
Yes, exactly.
Well, the kicker is, and that the angry fans, they're gonna hate this. They're all humans with jobs. Now, they're lucky enough to have jobs that they love. Not everybody gets that for sure. But you don't like it, stop watching. I'm the poster boy for not watching because I don't care for it anymore. It's really just that easy. I've got a list of Hollywood stuff I just don't pay attention to anymore. Video game stuff I don't pay because I didn't like it. So that's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing death threats. It's ridiculous.
Threats of deletion.
Sorry, deletion. I apologize. I just got here. I don't know what's happening.
More deletion, I suppose. I have no.
I wasn't given the vocabulary beforehand. I'm sorry.
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I forgot that we were on YouTube as well. So
that's a fair point. So basically, yeah, I mean that's the other side of the privilege of having the internet and technology now is as much access as we have and as open as the Pandora's box is to the good and the bad, you also have an off button for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is what Ava did to protect herself. So she got off because
exactly, yeah. Unfortunately, that arena, that social media outlet, whatever, became clearly too toxic, and you try to do things because you enjoy them if you can. And if you're just going to get hit with that kind of vitriol,
you just
what's the point? You don't need it. It's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
People like that aren't worth your time and attention. So
and then eventually, depending on how her WWE career progresses, then for business reasons, like I'm sure she can bring that back and someone can manage it for her as well. So, but at the moment, since things are too hot, good on her for knowing when to jump off.
Yep. Don't need it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so right now it's 11:39 p.m. on the East Coast, and we've been here for an hour and a half, maybe almost an hour and 40 minutes, and
That went by fast.
Whoa.
yeah. So for the viewers that have been hanging around on our social media pages, like our X and our Facebook, our Twitch, our and our YouTube pages, thank you so much for being a part of this stream over here. And of course, if you want to chime in, we will be going to. We will be putting up the StreamYard link or the Zoom link wherever we choose to broadcast from, and you can always hop on in, and hopefully you've got something really good to say, and something that will add to our conversation here. But for all of you who have tuned in, I want to thank you and appreciate you for listening to us for all this time as well. And we want to continue to put out some more content here with you. So it leaves me to thank right now. Well, it leaves me to thank Chico at Coco Collects, John Dawson at John Dawson Music, and our special guest here at the end of the stream, Colin.
I stumbled in off the street, and you guys let me in. So
yep, at Risen 72, who is still looking for his smile, but yeah.
It's somewhere under the 3 feet of snow we just got out here in Cape Breton.
Oh, sheesh.
Oh, that's right. That is right. That is right. That's oh boy, that's gonna how have you guys dug out of that yet?
I don't know. I have to go outside first to check.
Oh,
I'm running out of my pills soon. I got to go out eventually.
That's important. That's important. But what's also important is that we appreciate everybody who's listening, either live or after the fact, which you can find on any of our pages at the moment. So thank you very much for tonight. And remember, we broadcast live on Saga 960 AM at 7 o'clock on Sundays. The repeat show is on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. And you can catch us on all of our social media outlets at Ringside_Heat. Take care, everybody. This is Lex Tan for Ringside Heat, and remember, with Ringside Heat, well, what's the new slogan, John? What's the new slogan we're trying to figure out?
Yeah, was it? We are the fans everybody should try to be.
There you go.
Oh,
We are the
fans. When did that happen? That's great.
That's
That
right.
probably
Ringside Heat
in the last 24 hours, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Last hour and a half.
Yep. We are the fans that everybody should want to be. Or
That's
what?
a t-shirt.
We're the fans everybody should try to be.
There you go. We are the fans that everyone should try to be. Have a good night. We'll talk to you again sometime soon. Possibly, most likely on Sunday, but maybe beforehand. We'll see. Ooh, Thursday, the WWE WrestleMania press conference. Yeah. We're gonna react to that over here at Ringside Heat. I guess maybe over after the fact, because I think I think there's some appointments that are happening beforehand. But we'll see you then.